Hello, everybody. Welcome to a new video. My name is Chris, the American Magpie. This is NUFC Insiders, and we have a video reaction. Not a lot going on right now with Newcastle United. Of course, no match going on this weekend. We're gonna have to wait until next weekend. Then we got back to back, literally the 27th, and 3 days later we play against Aston Villa away. So we're gonna do a video reaction of actually earlier. This video came out earlier today. Rory Jennings slamming our manager Eddie Howe. I haven't watched this video yet, so I don't know exactly what it means. Sometimes titles are a little bit, are catchy and really don't represent exactly what the person said. So we're gonna react to it and form an opinion. I definitely want to hear your opinion. So comment below, subscribe to the channel if you're a Newcastle fan, and smash the like button. Of course, let's get to it. Let's watch it. Let's not waste any time. By the way, you can follow me on Twitter at CTA Magpie at CTA Magpie, or you can follow the channel's page also on Twitter at NUFC Insiders, and as well as every single social media platform. Let's get started with this, man. What did he say about Newcastle United, or Eddie Howe per se?
Currently sit 10th in the league. They've lost 8 out of their last 10 games. I've only won 2 of the last 10.
That is true.
Obviously, we know the situation with Tonali, Callum Wilson, his injuries. Kieran Trippier's clearly out of form. Joe Linton's out for the season. It's just the pressure under Eddie Howe right now. Look, we will never ever on this show talk about managers getting the sack because it's wrong, and I don't like it. I don't really like it. But the pressure. It's funny. I said that. Rory looked at me like, "Won't we?
Yeah,
won't we talk about managers getting the sack?"
Oh, you'd speak for yourself. I'll certainly talk about
I don't want Eddie Howe to get the sack.
What in like a holistic way because it's horrible for him, or because you don't think he deserves a sack?
I don't think he deserves a sack.
Okay, what about this? They're below Chelsea in the league. They've lost more games in the league than they've won this year. That's sackable, surely. They've lost more games than they've won. Look. They've played 21 games. They've lost 10. They've won 9.
I almost feel like he over.
Okay, but I mean, so we have more losses by 1. You're making it sound like we have lost 20 games and won 5. So I get where he's going, and I don't have a problem with actually anybody saying anything about a manager getting sacked. If you believe that your manager needs to be sacked, then it is what it is. That's how you feel. Then it is what it is. Again, I think that everybody is entitled to have their opinion, and 100% is debatable. So but let's keep hearing what he has to say.
Overachieved initially, and that's his biggest problem.
He
that
did
overachieved, and now he's being judged on that.
No, he overachieved, and therefore, when you do overachieve, your expectations change. You are seen in a different light when you overachieve. He did incredibly well last season. He was given the praise for that. They got to a final. They qualified for the Champions League, and he reaped an awful lot of praise for that from us. We sat here and we spoke about how brilliant Eddie Howe.
He deserved that praise.
Absolutely. But surely, if you can give with one hand and give the praise, when it goes wrong, when he's making a pig's ear of it, when they plummet out of a Champions League group that they should have certainly done better in. I don't understand how that's been reframed as success, by the way.
Sorry, what? He should certainly have done better in. I mean, the group that included AC Milan, Paris Saint-Germain and Dortmund. They should have clearly done better in that group with those behemoths.
They should 100% have done better in that group. The reason they fell out of that group was poor management, poor in-game management, and they basically bottled it. That's
time out. I got that's why when the nonsense start coming out, I got to start pausing videos and stop this madness, because what Rory's saying is one thing. I agree is the game management. We messed that up. We didn't do that correctly against AC Milan. So I can agree with that. But to do better with it in this group, are we really serious? I mean, we bottled it against the group of death, the most difficult group in the Champions League this year. I mean, Manchester City, as many great superstars as they had the easiest group. So let's see Manchester City on this group and see how they did. I'm sure they would have qualified, but regardless, you can't underestimate who we played against. And this nonsense that the Milan and Borussia Dortmund. I mean, we had a tough time in our first match away in Milan. We managed it, and we actually were able to get a point away from that one. Then we come to PSG, we beat them like a drum. They didn't exist. We we play Borussia Dortmund, and they give it to us in the very beginning on a counterattack. And then the whole match, we deserved to actually get that tie. 1 point. Imagine, I mean, we created so many times. If we would have capitalized and we would have scored, we would have won that match regardless. I mean, we had like 20 balls hit the post. I mean, that's just is crazy. One of the craziest matches that I've seen. So obviously Rory is not paying attention to the games, because that match against Borussia Dortmund, we deserve, to say the least, get a tie. And then we went away right after that. We went to Borussia Dortmund and we actually played badly. We did. Almiron didn't start, as well as um, Gordon. And that was a managerial decision. I didn't agree with that, but we lost it. It is what it is. One game right there that you say we deserve to lose that match, and then you play against PSG, and there is a call that shouldn't have ever been made, and that is not a mistake. That is not a something that could happen. No, that should never happen in football. And they give us a penalty. We were going to win it, and then they tie at the end. And then we had that. The next game against AC Milan at home would have been a much different game had we won the match that we needed to win away in France. So I don't want to hear this nonsense. This is bullshit. And yes, we did have we didn't game manage the game against Milan, the last one, the right way. I agree with that. We were winning it as well. So I don't want to hear this nonsense that we should have done better. We should, like, it is nonsense. Well, somebody, like Chelsea, of course, he's a Chelsea fan. What can you say? They're like one spot above us, and they're talking about, yeah, they're below Chelsea. They're doing that. Like, it's just, see, his tone of voice, his tone makes everybody believe that we just completely had a horrible season, and injuries do play a role into this. Injuries really do. Even though I've criticized Eddie Howe for a lot of his decisions, I'm not going to take this crap from this clown right here, Rory Jennings.
That's what happened in the Champions League group. Frame it however you want. You can talk about Borussia Dortmund or AC Milan, but let's be totally honest, they aren't the teams that they once were. What? Remember, AC Milan were beaten home and away by Graham Potter's Chelsea. Borussia Dortmund, in fact, were launched out the European Cup by Graham Potter's Chelsea. Newcastle themselves
today, bro.
battered the razzle-dazzle of Paris Saint-Germain. They took 4 points out the first 2 games, and that was it. They won 1 game in the entire group, and I'm afraid that is totally unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, to add to that as well, add to obviously the slander.
No, you see, that's what I'm saying. You can't analyze games like this if you're not going to put context into what you're saying. Then it has nothing. Then you're just ranting and you're just banting. And unfortunately, this channel is not for that. But let's keep going.
What Rory saying about Newcastle, Kieran Trippier being linked to a move away today to Bayern Munich and to Paris Saint-Germain. Obviously, look, the last 5 or 6 months have been awful for Trippier.
Well, look, they're going to talk about this stuff. They're going to, they're going to keep talking about transfers and stuff. And listen, we're going to do a live show later on today with the one and only Billy Bob from the Tune Review. And we're going to talk about the news. We're going to talk about transfer. We're going to talk about all that regarding Newcastle news. I'm not going to let these guys talk about that and get that attention. What I wanted to review is obviously what he had to say about Eddie Howe and how he should be sacked and how everything, what he's done is a sackable offense all season. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I've criticized Eddie Howe in a lot of ways. And I think that he made certain mistakes, but also you got to take in consideration. I'm in the middle, man. It's not black or white all the time. There are gray areas, and you have to analyze those areas. And you got to put context into when you analyze a game. What he's doing is just raining results. He's talking about results right here. He's not really doing much of analyzing the game. You got to take every game in consideration. And if they wouldn't have stole points away from us at Paris, at Paris Saint-Germain, we would have qualified for the next round of the Champions League. And yes, of course, if we would have managed the game better against AC Milan at home, we would have gotten the result. And of course, but then again, PSG won their last match, so it really it's irrelevant. And so you got to put context into when you analyze games. You can't just say stuff just for the sake of it. I do agree, and actually, I'm the one. I don't celebrate losses. I don't celebrate doing well and then losing the championship. I do take the process in consideration, of course. But what he's doing is nonsense. It just don't make any sense whatsoever. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below about this clown, Rory Jennings. Regardless, man, I think that we got a lot of bettering to do. We have a lot of we're getting some players back, of course. And we'll see what happens. Joe Willock might come back, Harvey Barnes might come back, Murphy might come back, and those are great assets. Now, listen, we're going to talk about news. And we're going to talk about transfers later on with Bill About from Tune Review. And also, if you watch this video after that show, you can always go back to watch it from the beginning. It's going to be a great one tonight. And so, yeah, man, let me know what you think about this, what this client had to say. For now, smash the like button, of course, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. We'll see you on the next one.